Funkos behind you.
Sorry, what was that, Janet? I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, I can't help but see all of the Funkos behind Justin. It's like located up the road from me. Our minor league baseball field is called Funko Field with a little Funko baseball player in there.
That's awesome.
It's an addiction. No, it's not. It's just a yeah.
It's a fantastic hobby. Yeah.
It's our generation's what are they? Precious moment dolls. That's what it is.
Oh, I like
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to share my screen here and we'll kind of walk through what we got going on for agents to try and make it a little easier. Let's start a little bit on the front end here. I can kind of show you how this is going to come together as agents are starting to register here. So, whoop, we don't need our location on right now. So a new agent's going to hit the login button here and they're going to create an account. When they create an account, I do need to approve them. So it could take me up to 12 to 24 hours, depending on how close I am to my computer to do that. But certainly we'll get you guys approved as soon as possible. Just trying to make sure that we are only getting agents who are making accounts and not, random spammers who are going to put stuff onto the website. So unfortunately, that is a little bit of a slowdown for people, but hope people understand it and can appreciate it then. A few other things that we have coming up from the front here for you. You will see, of course, what is the longest open house. We just updated to now add new buttons that'll take you directly to the pages for the cities that are doing them. So like this page will take us right to Rochester, Minnesota, and that's going to pop into our Justin's page here. Of course, he has no events in there yet, but we're going to continue to grow this out, and I'll show you how that gets populated today. One of the other things that we're going to have in here is becoming a host. If you want to get more information, especially if you're an Alzheimer's person, you want to send this out to like, hey, what is this? Why are we doing this? What is it about? You can send them this page as well. They can join the Facebook group if you're not already part of it. Make sure you do that, and then to sign up as a host, they're going to take you right to that login, sign up registration page. And then a little bit of a video as to kind of where we came from in order to get to here and why I do this. For those of you who've been here for a while, you probably know, but I did lose my dad to Alzheimer's 16 years ago, or after a 16-year battle about 5 years ago. So set up the world's longest open house, 65-hour-long open house, and now we're trying to get agents out there to do an event throughout that weekend. Maybe it's a 5-hour event, maybe it's a 12-hour event, maybe it's something throughout the whole weekend. Just trying to figure out ways to engage your sphere, to give back to the community, as well as to raise funds for 1 in 3 who are affected by Alzheimer's or who have a loved one who are affected by it. So appreciate everybody being here on that. That's kind of that basic page there for you. The other thing we have as we're getting activated here is the sponsor page, and I'll show you the emails as well you can send out. So the sponsor page, when you have a sponsor, somebody wants to support this event, besides just donating, we could have them sponsor your event. So right now I've only got the 2 sponsors from my location, so it's going to start showing that information. I'm going to break this down once we get more sponsors as per the location and as per the level that they sponsor. So they will submit that in and they will get added into this list on the sponsors page. But also, if they can hit the become a sponsor, this is where they're going to submit their actual information for sponsoring your event. So once you want to ask them to sponsor the events, you can tell them a little bit about the event that we got going on, some basic ideas of what a sponsorship level are going to be. For my event, I put it in there kind of as this is for everybody. If for some reason this doesn't seem to work for your market, let's talk about it. Hoping that we can keep it simple. But if for some reason it seems out of line for anybody's market, please let me know. And then some examples of things that we've done at events. So for my event, I've got food trucks out there. I've got Santa shows up for photos. I've got some dance classes. I've got a beanbag toss tournament. I've got a ton of stuff. And so trying to engage people to think about what kind of things they could do at this event to maybe get them to be part of it. So then once they decide if they want to do it, fill out their contact information real quick. I'm not going to go through this specifically, but it does then dive them deeper into submitting their information about their company, how much they want to donate, and then also their logo as well. So we can automatically put that on the website and not have to manage this from an agent's point of view, because I can only imagine how many emails I'm going to get in and they're like, oh, I got to copy that logo and put it on my website, right? Anybody feeling that that's going to be not much fun?
Yeah. And
so the beauty.
I do want to ask a question here, Kyle. I think the approach that Linda was going to do is that she wants to get them committed as soon as possible. So she walks away with that information. So she and I were saying that we would go ahead and submit the information on their behalf here. Any problems with that?
I see no problems with that whatsoever. So this would be the information you need to have on it. You can certainly submit it for them on their behalf, and I'll show you on the back end. There's also an easier way if you just want to type them in that way too. If you don't want to go through the submission portion, I can show you that too. So once they submit, that's going to come into your back end. Again, if you are on this side of it, you can go into either click on your name up here and go to edit profile. Should take you to the right spot. That's going to take you to their profile page, but it's going to take you to their back side either way. Otherwise, on the bottom of the screen as well, there is, you can go to my account. So either way will get you to the back end there. We're going to just kind of walk around here a little bit. The profile is going to be mostly just about you on the page. So it's not necessarily going to be what's going to be public. That's going to be what's I'm used to connect with you. So don't worry too much about that. What's going to be public is the stuff that's up here on the top of the page here. So you're going to have your host piece here. This is going to be, we're going to put in as much information about you as possible. That's going to start building your page. So if you don't have one in here, go ahead and hit add new page. Justin's got one in here. So we're going to hit edit Justin's here while he's here. And he can edit his own as well while he's there. You can change your image over here on the right-hand side. You can put in your broker information, your phone number, your URLs, all those fun things. I probably should take these ones off me, but these are what's actually going to build your pages. So leave those 3 blank, or what they are in there. And then we're going to take, here is going to be your Alzheimer's link. And I can put this in for you guys too. So I'll show you how to make those and put them in there. But that will be where it comes in. So just kind of go through and fill out any of this information that you have on your event. If you don't have like a builder yet, or you don't have a home or a listing agent or anything like that, it won't show up unless there's something in there. So don't worry if you don't have something, feel free to just leave it blank. Make sense? Simple and easy. I like it. We're shaking our heads. Yes, I love it, Justin. Thank you. All right. The other thing is those sponsors. Like I said, the sponsors are going to pop in and they're going to show up in this spot here under sponsors. Give it the same kind of layout that we had in the other one. We can take a look at like Regency here. So it's going to pop in. It's going to show our sponsor, our name, our information. Their logo is going to be actually in here. It might not always show up depending on the shape of it, but that's what it's going to be. They're going to put in their level. If they didn't select one in here, you can select it for them. I'm sorry, select is the level. This one is at a select. But you could, edit any of these things you need to as well. And then they can say why they sponsored. That's going to show up publicly on there. If you don't want to have anything in there, or they wrote something really weird and you're like, man, I don't want that showing publicly, or you need to make a change to it, feel free to come in here and edit that for them. If they want to host an event, they're going to tell you about that, maybe what that event is going to be. This stuff's not going to be public. This is going to just be information that comes back to you as a host. So they'll tell you like, yeah, I want to maybe host a taco bar. We love tacos. What can we do about that? So they'll kind of give you that information coming back to the agents so they can try and reach back out to them and say, I'd like to know more about how we could, implement a taco bar, or, maybe it's I don't know, a gaming company. They want to have a gaming tournament there or something else. Hopefully they can put that information in there and then you'll get an idea of that kind of that lead to it.
Can I ask on the comments, is there one of the approaches Alinda wanted to make was if they were shining a light for someone specific, where would they enter that information? Would that be under comments?
So they would do it in honor of.
Okay.
Yep. So if you wanted to have, if you want to donate $100 in honor of somebody, you do that right there.
Okay.
And then this is only on the back end here is where you can actually mark that this has been paid. So if they donated online via Facebook or via Alzheimer's, you can mark them here as paid. If they give you a check, or if they have not paid yet for you. So that's a good way for you to kind of keep track on the back end once we've got these options. Now it will, I don't know if I've got the automatic email yet, but I'll send an automatic email out saying here's the link to donate, because that does have to go directly to the Alzheimer's Association page for those donations. That way we don't have to handle the cash and checks and all that stuff and be responsible for it. We want to send it all to them. So we'll send them that link after they've registered. So hopefully they do it. Of course, it's an email. We understand that people are going to maybe forget that email. So I want to make sure in here that once we have rectified it, we can check it off. And then and once they do email, they do register and they do make a donation, just as you're aware with Alzheimer's Association, you'll get an email directly from the association whenever you get any donations for your event. And then of course, if they have any other comments that they had for you. Speaking of the Alzheimer's Association, if you haven't already signed up to get that piece before, back at the dashboard here, if you hit the dashboard on the top, this is going to give you some shortcuts to how to get set up and what we need to do. So the first one here is your Alzheimer's site quick link. So if you are setting up your Alzheimer's site, if you want to go in there and see where those donations are, clicking that will take you over to the Alzheimer's site. Here you can log in. You will need a separate account. This is going to be for your longest day fundraising page. We do have quite a few of them that have been set up already, and you can certainly see any of them on there. If you want to see what one looks like, go ahead and click on mine. That's going to be the Kyle Olson one, as of course the person who started this up. It's going to also give you let's see, what was I going to say? Yeah, so once we are in our profile, you do have to do a $20 personal donation in order to start up the fundraising event. That's going to cover the cost of sending out a longest day t-shirt for you and a little bit of a welcome packet for you. So hopefully that's not a barrier to anybody to doing this. And then once we go to log in, we're going to log in with our information, show you a few things on the back end of this website. This is going to be, like I said, this is the one that's going to be covering your money piece. We don't see it a ton on the front website, so don't spend too much time on this. But we really want to make sure that we have our information in there, and then that we just pulling up here. Amazing. All right, so here is our dashboard. And in here is where you can find any of how you're doing as far as your fundraising progress. I'm going to try and get this implemented into our website. It's been a little bit of a challenge, but definitely here's what you could do. The other thing is you can create a Facebook fundraiser. So as soon as you've got your event set up, creating that Facebook fundraiser is a great way to activate your friends and family. Link any of that stuff back to longestopenhouse.com as well as / your page if you want. So let's say, if we went to that spot or to that home page here and we want to have linked directly to Justin's page, you can just go down here and grab the Rochester, Minnesota page. And that's going to be the link that you want to put in any of your social media posts. And then, like I said, this will automatically create your Facebook fundraiser for you. And then it's going to create your page out, your external page. So what we can do is look at that page here. Under my page, we can customize that. Again, like I said, don't spend too much time on it because we want to make sure we're spending more time on our longest open house page. But I would suggest making sure that on the bottom here, you put something that says like most up-to-date information, go to longestopenhouse.com. So if they just happen to stumble upon the fact that you're doing a fundraiser, this would be kind of what your event is about. Feel free to copy and paste any of this stuff into your story from mine. You'll see that right on my front page. Don't forget to also hit that save story button. I've done that before myself. I've written all some nice, beautiful stuff here, and I forgot to hit save story. And then I'll just show you that page.
Tell them that is like the worst location to put a save, like right. You're not going to look at it. You're going to, why don't you just move it right down below? Yeah.
So if we go to visit my page here, you'll see that what my page looks like. Again, I didn't spend a ton of time on it. It looks nice. It does have my video on there, or one of my older ones, and it's got that link thing, but of course it's got the donate button. What we're doing to bring back to your page, if you want to do this for me, or if you want to send me a link or whatever, I can certainly do it for you. This is going to be the actual donation page that people are going to be sent to. So we're going to take this address up here, and that's what we're going to put back on. So we go ahead and copy that piece. That's what we're going to put back on Justin's host profile, as that's where their donations are going to go to. If for whatever reason you don't feel like you can do that, feel free to send me a message down here. Say, hey, I've got my account set up. I just don't have my link. Hit that send button, and that'll send me an email, and I will go ahead and add that for you. So any problems you're having throughout setting these up, just send me an email. I'll certainly try and help you guys set this up here as we're trying to branch this out. It's everybody's event is different. But I'm trying to create a little bit of uniformity to it. So let me know, what we can do to make something work for everybody. That's a lot in a little bit of time. Anybody got questions so far? Perfect. All right, a few other things. One is going to be adding events, and then the other thing is going to be the graphics in here. So let's go ahead and work on the adding events piece first. So we hit add event. You can also hit add event on the side over here, or you can use the plus up here on the top. Either one will take you to the same spot. We're going to put a name of the event up here. So let's do a music bingo today. I don't know. We're going to fill in a few pieces on that. If you have any more detailed information that doesn't quite fit in everything, feel free to add that here. Like say, make sure you're wearing purple for our event. We can put that in there. Or, don't forget to RSVP. We do have an RSVP spot on here, but make sure if that's something that's very important, or if you need to send them to something else, like you're doing you're trying to get them to register for a tournament and that's not part of this, you can add that in there as well. If you are doing a gaming tournament, let me know. I do have a tournament thing set up and we'll walk through that on a second or a third video here, so forth. But if you are doing one, we'll watch for that. Then pick a category for that event. So since this is a music bingo, we're going to put that as a game. We're just going to kind of work our way down the page. There's not a lot of things we have to pick out of it. First of all, we're going to put in our date and our time. So we're going to start this thing maybe on June, because we do want to keep this hopefully during that longest open house time period of June 21st to the 23rd. Definitely understand if you have to do it the weekend before or something like that, but we'd love to help you support you as much as we can throughout that same weekend by having everybody doing them that same weekend. So I'd love to have that. So let's say we're doing it on Saturday at 8 a.m. to, we do need to put an end date here on that of, 6 p.m. It's gonna be a long one. If you don't know for sure, you can hit the advanced button in here and you can put in some notes on time here and you can actually put to be determined and that'll show up on the front for you as well. So if it's not quite known for sure, you can put that in there. It is going to put the time zone in here and I haven't put a time zone yet. So maybe those of you who are in other time zones, you could check out the website and see what it looks like from your time zone if it feels correct. But it should be correct because I didn't make the plugin. So, time zones are fun when you have all these events going on in different areas. All right, once you got the date and time in there, you can go over to, you can do an hourly schedule. So let's say you are just doing a 3-hour event. You don't want to do a ton of events and you're saying, oh my gosh, this is a lot of work. I don't want to put this in and that in and that. And I just want to say I'm going to be here from 3 to 5 and we're going to have a cakewalk and then we're going to do a beanbag toss tournament and just come show up. We just want one entry on our website. You could certainly put any hourly schedule in here. I prefer, I think it looks better on the website to make different events for each different type of event you're doing. But if you, like I said, if you're only doing that one smaller event, you want to make it simple, use that for you. Next is going to be location. We've added it already to the host, but we do need to add it here again. This is going to be a map location piece. So for like right now, I've got, we do want to type in a new, so we're going to insert a new location. We're going to give it a name. That's going to show up whatever we want. So we'll just call it Fargo for our name. And let's put it at, put it at my office here, 75 23rd Avenue South. That's going to populate in it. It's going to populate in your longitude and latitude. If it doesn't populate this in, you can go out and search for it. Hopefully you can figure it out. There's a longitude latitude website. Again, if you have super duper questions on that, go ahead and shoot me a message. I can go find it, put it in there for you. You only have to put this in once for your location, and then we just select your location from the menu every time you add a new event. So it does make it easy once you've done that to continue to reuse that same information multiple times. All right, and then if we have an image, one thing I've found for an image that I like doing, and I do have a template there on the front screen, is taking a picture of the front of the house if you're doing it at a model home or something like that. And then put a graphic over top of that with like either the builder's name, if you really want to give them some good credit, or if you want to put the city on it, something like that. So we can really get some nice graphics on that home page, that location page. So that's what I would use for there. And then we can go down to, go ahead and add that location. I'm not going to add the location today, but it would show up in there. If you have any other links, you can add them here. Again, you probably won't have too many of those that you would be using for that. Organizers are going to be another one. Again, we're going to add this in here. We've already had it as a host, but this is going to be adding you as an organizer for that event. So if you are working with a lender as well, and you don't want them to be a host, but you want them to be like listed on that page as well, you could have them as the organizer. So you could add that organizer on there. You could add your broker on there as well if you prefer to have them in that regards. But I prefer the broker in the other spot. It does show up nicer on our websites. So definitely depends on what you need. If you need to add more things on there, do that. If they're not showing up the way you want them to show up on your events, let me know. These organizers are going to be per event. So you want to select them for each event, who the organizer is of that event. So like I've got myself in there, I'm going to have myself at that event every time. I could have added, if Haley was here in town, I could have added her as well, or I could have added multiple organizers there. Cost, we typically don't do any sort of a cost on events for what I found for my events. Depending on what your event is going to look like, you certainly could. That you're gonna have to figure out how to take those tickets and take the money at your location. You can do that on-site location ticket piece. But I recommend just putting more like a suggested donation or something like that up in your text up here if you really want to do what the cost is, and then you could collect it at the door or something like that. Then we can leave this stuff here scheduled as what's going on. You can leave all that information as it is. And then we're gonna go down to, click that one in. It's a really long one. RSVP status. We do want to enable people to RSVP for our events. That's going to add them to our database of people who are coming. Because as agents, we always want to collect as many emails and everything else as we can, so we can send them reminders, and so we can hopefully, build those relationships further along. So click that enable RSVP button. You can limit it if you need to. Most events, I would say, probably be willing to leave it wide open and see how many people show up or RSVP, because we honestly know most people who RSVP still aren't going to show up. But they will get an automatic email that'll remind them about that, and then they should get an automatic email to remind them the day of the event as well. And within those emails, I'm going to try and add in your donation link as well. So I haven't built that piece out yet, but of course we've got a couple months still coming. So hopefully they'll be able to get an email reminding them, hey, if you're not able to be there, just think about a donation at least. So that's a fantastic way to continue to engage those people who maybe said, yeah, that's really cool, I want to be reminded, and I forgot, but I still want to be reminded, I still want to pay money. So that will show up in your attendee list. You can see it over on the right-hand side under RSVPs as well. So they'll pop into there, and you'll be able to see those people who have RSVP'd for each of your events. Few other things on the right-hand side that we may have missed. You can save this as a draft if you're just kind of playing around with it. You can also revert it back to a draft if you've published it and you want to go back to it. Making sure if you go down here, the other thing you can put is a color on them. So if you've got multiple events, you want to keep color pattern between your different types of events, feel free to do that. Again, if you're only doing 5 hours, don't worry about it. If you're doing a 65-hour event like mine, I'm going to be adding some colors. And then the featured image. Here's going to be the best spot to add an image about that event. I do have some of them already into the media library. So if you just click over, when you log in here, click over to media library, you can select any of the images that have been loaded already. So I've got like a Bean Big Toss tournament picture in here. I've got a lemonade stand tournament picture in here. So go ahead and grab one of those pictures. If you don't have one, you can hit the upload button. And we do have the templates over on that front page, and I'll show you in a moment how to make these graphics too. Let's go ahead and grab one of those graphics here. And we're going to set that as our featured image. And now we're going to hit the preview button. We can see what that's going to look like on our website. All right, so our featured image is showing up here. Our organizer, we had a graphic for them. I've got this fantastic one from my last open house with my fantastic purple suit. You don't have to have your own purple suit, but it is a lot more fun, right? And then it'll give you a little bit of a countdown to the event. It'll give you the category that's in, give you information. This is all pre-published about the events. Let me know if there's anything anybody wants to make changes in here. I'm thinking I want to keep this very generic, but then anything above that you had about your event is going to be about up here. So if there's something you want changed in here that feels like, oh my gosh, there's too much about Kyle. I mean, again, I'm trying to figure all this out. So if there's things that you want to change, let me know. I'm not the best wordsmith always, so playing around with it, there's lots of moving parts. If anybody really wants to help making a bunch of emails with me, feel free to reach out to that too. I'd love to have, somebody would love to make a ton of emails to send out to people and all these different pieces. Just lots of work. But then there's the link there to if they want to sponsor, if they've heard about that, if they want the location information is going to be here. It's going to give you more information about your next event coming up at that location, and then also how they're going to RSVP. So if they've RSVP'd, they can find it. If they want to RSVP, yes, they can click here and go, yep, I'm going to it. Click next. It's very simple. It's going to put in their first name, last name, email, and phone number. Hopefully we'll get that. I'm not putting that as a required field. I don't know, Justin, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because some people don't like to put, I mean, at least name and email, at least as far as required,
Yeah, I mean, that's,
or one or the other. At least if you're gonna do like require a phone but not the email, but
but
I
then
don't
you also
know, it's one or
make
the other.
phone calls. And yeah, I feel like, this is what people are going to actually do. They're gonna hit that submit button on it. And then they're gonna get the location of it. It's gonna show that they RSVP'd, and that's gonna pop in now here on your RSVPs. It's asking me to save this. I of course didn't because it's not my event. I'm not gonna do it, but you would hit the publish button here. If for whatever you liked what you did, you would hit the publish, or you can hit save as draft. I'm gonna just save it as draft now so we can come back to it. So those RSVPs, like I said, they're gonna populate in here. Here's Melanie, that's my wife. She RSVP'd for the music video bingo. We confirmed it and verified it, and we always automatically do those. But she said yes, she was going, but then we could, reach back out to that person by clicking on them and getting more information about them. So lots of information there in the back end, hoping to continue to grow this and to then have some more drips out to these people, reminding them about it, reminding them to share events or new events that you have coming up. Maybe we could do something like that as well. So continuing to grow that piece out, but if we don't start capturing it, we're not gonna be able to do any of it, right? Got to start somewhere. Janet, you look complexed.
No, I was just wondering, we have just like how we're gonna maximize it. I'm not perplexed at all.
Awesome. I like maximizing it. That's good. The other thing, like I said, you can make those graphics in here. So if you go back to your dashboard up here, I've taken most of the graphics that I've used for my event and I've added them over here on the right-hand side. So if there's any of these graphics that you like, some of them like the social media graphics, this is like 25 graphics that you can use on it. Click on that button there. It's going to open up the Canva link for you. Go ahead and click Create with Canva. If you was logged in, it would take me off to the Canva page where you can see all these different graphics and you'll be able to edit and customize them wherever you see fit for your event. So all those events are Canvas are already pre-made for you, and you just have to customize them to fit what works best for you. So you can here's some of the ideas of things that I had last year in my event, and we'll of course update mine for this year, but different ideas out there to have fun. Invite your radio stations out there. We're gonna get some press releases. We're trying to get as many of the agents who are doing this to sign up here in the next couple of weeks so we can get a full list of what cities are doing this. So Alzheimer's people, if you know somebody who was wanting to do it, at least get me a confirmation that they're wanting to do it. They don't necessarily have to be on the website. I would like to get some of those press releases out as well.
That would look really great on a map too, just showing like the pinpoints and where it's happening.
Exactly. So I mean, and we're starting to get there. You can see we've got a few of them here, but yeah, it would be so much more fun if we get that map to continue to at least have them on here. So we'll need to get an address here for Rochester and get that populated and then at least in there, right, Justin? Another thing is, as you're adding these events on here, your events are going to start showing up on the map. So you can see like mine's got 5 events in Fargo here. You click on that, you'll see we got the longest lemonade stand, jazzercise. So all my different events are showing up in here and they can click directly to any of those to get more details on them. The other thing that you've seen probably already is going to be that locations piece. And that's going to be locations of where we have them. And so we have, Justin's should be in here somewhere. Did I change? That's that Fargo location I just made. Guess we don't have a location yet for Justin to be on here.
No, I don't have
I suppose you don't have one yet, but yeah.
No.
So you want to make sure, like I said, put a graphic in there so it shows up. If you're doing it at the Heritage Homes or wherever building or you want to necessarily focus on, It'll show the map on there as well for you. And then it'll show, I like to name my location. I went back and renamed it here. What city I was doing it, how long I was doing it, what days, just so it kind of populates a little bit better on that information up front. The one thing I don't like yet, and I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of, is this ongoing events piece. I know it's pretty small in there, but it's like, why don't I have any ongoing events? Well, they're not happening yet, right? So it will be ongoing events when we're actually happening, but right now there's none. Kind of doesn't make sense, but whatever. Can only handle so many things. And then you can go, of course, go to your view location piece here. And that's where you're going to have all this information that you started to pre-populate, like I said, in that beginning with your host info. So yeah, what do you guys think?
That'll be
Yeah,
good.
good. It looks good. I'm
Awesome.
gonna start getting. I appreciate that you shared that Canva information. So I'm logging in right now so I can get that.
And
Yeah.
Justin, as another agent who's kind of gone through this a little bit too, I'd love to get your feedback on, like, do you feel like this page has enough information about you once you put your stuff on there? Is there other things that we need to add? Or, I mean, I've got disclosure on the bottom that each office is independently owned and operated. But, and I know Minnesota is pretty similar, but like, we need to make sure we have legal requirements for all
Yeah, I mean,
states.
as long as there's a spot for me to put my NAR number,
Oh yeah, I don't have NAR numbers in here. I guess I can add that. That's a good
Right,
point.
yeah, it's something I'd have to do.
Yep, so I'll add I'll add the NAR numbers on there. North Dakota doesn't require those, so that's kind of funny. I would imagine most people want their phone number and their brokerage
Yeah,
name up
phone number,
there.
brokerage. I just add the NAR number just as form of legitimacy.
Yep, and then of
Yeah.
course your broker is going to be more over here, so you can go to their websites. We don't want to dive too deep on it, but at the same time,
Yeah, no, it looks good. I mean, it's all about the simple, the better. It's just easy access to information.
yep,
You don't want to overload them with things. It's just, this is where it is. It's what's going on. Events where you can donate.
exactly. So like I said, this is the one you want to share to people. If they want to find out more information about it, these posts will show up on the top for them. It does work on mobile here, so this is what it's going to look like on your mobile phone a little bit. That's going to populate that again at the top, and your event's going to populate in here for you. So, if you only had, like I said, if you're only doing a 3-hour event and you just want to have one thing here that says, longest open house event, June 23rd from 4 to 6, go ahead and make one event. Not going to be the most on the page, but it's going to be easy for you. And ultimately, we want to make it as easy as we can for agents to want to join us on this piece. And then we also want to make it easy for you to engage your spheres. So, I mean, to me, I think there's the three-prong approach to this. One of these is, we want to raise a bunch of awareness and funds for the Alzheimer Association. We also want to help you as an agent to look cool and do something fun and join us in a national realm to see how much awareness we can raise across the nation, and then also just, hopefully sell some homes as well. Any other questions that I can help answer? I think this one went better than last week, so I'll have to post this one again.
No, thanks a lot. It was good information.
Linda did come up with a really nice list of people that she are in her wheelhouse that she could connect with as a realtor. I mean, far more than I had even considered that realtors interact with. So if that's a list that people want to share to kind of get them going, I was going to share it to a couple of my TLD colleagues that are out there saying, here's a great way of getting your chapter on the map here by finding a realtor that you're working with, and here's just some quick turnarounds on people that they're working with to connect with. So it's,
yeah,
I'll try and move it up as much as I can.
and then, if you have things like that pop up that you're like, oh, this is a great resource, or this is what somebody's reaching out to, feel free to drop those into the Facebook group. I'd love to get more engagement on that Facebook group of, what's working for you, what you're doing, or, if something's not working, or you're wondering maybe what does other people think about it. Feel free to use that as a place to communicate any of those things, and hopefully, as a community, we'll figure out some of those answers or questions, especially like when we didn't have a listing or other ideas. So put those on there.
to look at that. Yeah.
It doesn't have a ton of activity yet, but that's okay too. It doesn't have to be, you know, don't have to every day say hi.
It'll be.
We want it to
picking
be a
up.
good resource.
Yeah.
The other thing I do have is I do have a couple emails, and I should add those in here. And there's some text. I'll put those in the dashboard here for you. I've got an email to send out to sponsors, and I've got an email that can be written to send out to your to a builder partner or something like that too. So kind of pre-written those already. So feel free to edit those to fit for your situation. We'll also start putting some press release information in there that's kind of pre-written that you can then edit that to your information as well. So we'll try to make it as simple for you to get those pieces out. And hopefully hosting a longer event doesn't seem as scary for some of you guys. Well, I can give you back some time of your day if you don't have any other questions, or if it hasn't sparked any other conversation pieces.
I
No,
put in my
appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for your time. I put in my registration, so if you could prove that, I'll grab those Canvas as soon as I can and get some of that information over to Linda.
Oh yeah. So I was trying to keep that to agents, but I should think about that. Okay, I'll think about that, because you're
Okay.
correct. As an Alzheimer's person, you would want that information, but I don't want to have you as a
If you could,
host.
or also if you could just share the Canva templates, I could do that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just keep dropping them all in the Facebook group, and we'll just go from there too.
Oh, excellent. That's a good idea. Okay.
Good resource.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot, Kyle. This is great.
Absolutely. That's the things that I don't even think about, Jen, from other people's point of views. So appreciate you joining us and being part of it and saying, oh, I need this.
Nice meeting you, Justin.
Nice meeting you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.